I'm gonna record again. See, you thought that there was gonna be some sort of weird transition to like we're actually gonna record this and yada 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 and all that other stuff. Nah, like we're gonna actually you can't see it. I'm gonna just straight up take you, smack you right on my computer case. There we go. And now Adventure Town Toy Emporium is forever part of Tiny's computer. So I'm going to drop you there. I'm going to take you as trash and stick you next to my wallet, because why not? Now. There we go. We're just going to have a little background music while we do this. You going to just hang out right there. There we go. Now, what I was originally going to do, and you'll have to forgive me because I think I'm fighting off a head cold, is I was going to figure out a nice way to put the snack. Because we remember, this was going to be Bleppy or this was going to be Persimmon? This was Persimmon. She's a good snack. So we're going to have to figure out a way, I guess. Is it just me, or like, does anyone else still feel bad if they, like, leave out stuffed animals? Like, I think that's just me. I think I got something wrong with me, but, no, don't fall over, don't knock everything over. You're a big snack. So what are we gonna do? We're just gonna, oh my god. Giant fuck-off tail is doing this. Boom. Boom. There we go. I'm gonna stick it right there. Ooh! Alright, I have flipped the mouse around. I still need to see how we're doing. There we go. Alright. There we are. I think this is the answer. I need a drink. You can't expect me to put this together without a drink. Come on. That's good, that's off, fan is on. I mean, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. And honestly, you can't blame me for having the fan on in the background. It's I'm in the South. It's hot. Not today though. Today for some reason it's 40 degrees, but it don't matter. Put this together. Alright. Thank you again, Dreamwalker. We're gonna have fun with this. One day, I guess maybe we'll do actual streams and make this something a little more beautimous. Alright, so what we do when we do these is we always keep the box, and that's sort of the does it look like what's on the box? So we're going to stick that there. Yeah, this comes with shootable models. So that's going to be interesting. Stick you there. Puzzle. Stick you there. Happy with this. Won't matter. You're trash and you don't matter, and you're trash and you don't matter. Alright. Oh boy, a ton of rubber bands. I hope those aren't individually numbered. We got springs. Now, this, so you may not have ever put together a ROKR, or a ROKR, whatever they call it, that's going away. You may not have ever put together a ROKR. This is wax. And so you actually end up waxing down some of the things you work on. So the wax, I guess we'll... Springs here, wax there. Hold on to that, Persimmon. We will put that over there. Let's see what we got. Okay. This. Alright, this looks like it is going to be a nice, very nice put together. I'm gonna go ahead and go back there. Get a little bit of animation, a little bit of something, and then immediately cover it up. There we go. Yeah, it works. So there's something fun, at least for me. Am I still recording? Yeah, I'm still recording. There's something fun, at least for me, when it comes to putting together these things. Something that I actually used to do as a child, and then I sort of gave it up because, you know, the economy, if I'm being brutally honest, and then sort of rediscovered it, and it is good, feel-good shit. There we go. Now this, as you may have been wondering, is sandpaper. That is exactly what it is. And so you alternatively sand things down and then wax them up. So we're going to just stick that there as part of the bullshit process. There we go. I'm going to have some trouble with this one. And you also just get thrown on. Alright. So we have A1. That's usually a good sign. So the deal with ROKR or ROKR, I don't know. But I like them because they usually have pretty thick board, and then it's pretty easy to pop these things out. So what you don't want when you're putting this stuff together, sticky right there, is you don't want boards that are going to snap. Like that's a good one. It is right here. So there is this thin piece, and this is part of the entire gun mechanism. Like, as you see, it actually is just one long piece. Last thing you want is to break this. I'll guarantee you if I break this little thing, it's going to just absolutely ruin the entire thing. We'll just keep our timer right there. Why not? Screw it. There we go. This is a comfy little setup. Robo time. It is Robo time. Look at this. www.robotime.com. Huh. Alright. So this is the Alpha board. This is Bravo. This is Charlie. So we got another set here. This is Delta. And then below, looking crazy as hell, is Echo. So we're gonna Echo, Delta, Charlie, Bravo. Here we are. So just as a side note, when I put this stuff together, I kind of talk to myself. So I try to be entertaining, but also at the same time, I'm really just going to be sort of babbling, and I will do my best to make sure that we shoot this dog, but that also everything stays on camera. So our first bit is Delta 6. So we're gonna Delta 6, Charlie. So Delta goes down here. Bet you goes like that. Okay. I'm gonna stick you right there. What am I looking for? I'm looking for 4 Charlie 2s. I'm looking for 5 Charlie 3s. So one thing I try and also do is you'll see there's little numbers right here, and I just try and have them not stick out, if that makes sense. Like, I think that's cleaner than it saying like C1 or C3 or something. So that's what I do. Sorry. Usually I bring it up here to my face, but we streaming, so we gotta keep it in front of the camera, or I gotta put on that horse mask and try and figure some shit out. By the way, that horse mask has just like 2 eyes in the nose hole. You can't see shit out of it. So it is what it is. Oh. There. I'm gonna put Charlie here. It's nice bringing order out of chaos, I think. I think that's one of the reasons why I do it, is building models can kind of maybe be an allegory for life. I guess I'm gonna put the mic up here and wax a little bit more poetic. But it's like, you know, you do the right things, you start from scratch, you build up, and at the end of it all you have a gun, or, you know, something. I think that looks flush. So this is Delta 6. See, and what they'll do, because I know these people, is like you won't use D2 for like another 12 steps. And it's just all this, you have to keep it. You just can't chuck it. That's D3. And this is D3. D5. D5 and D7. Okay. D7 is just the one. So is it asking for just one D5? Okay, hold on. So Delta 3 is like this. So they're saying the blank side, this side, is going to go in like so. And so they want me to take D5. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like it. It's a, that doesn't seem right. Just a smaller. Okay. It's actually the smaller of the two. So then next step is this is Charlie with Delta on here. A2? So I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's a third hole right here. And so the goal is to try and see how it sort of tears in, because the piece is tiered in. So we're just trying to, and then it will always hit this weird spot, and it does not want to go through. So you just sort of gotta manhandle it in there. Once you do that, we're done. So the last A2 needed to go in here anyway, so then why make that two separate steps? Like, if this A2 needed to go in here anyway, why make it a giant pain? So then what we do is we split it, we drop it. See? So now I don't have that far to go. Just push it in. There we go. Oh shit, we got a ninja star. Alright, that's gonna be fun. A7. Oh. Both A7s and A8. A8 goes right in here. So you know, it's a funny story that actually made me want to start streaming this. Is I was on voice chat with people, and it was actually Moth that I was talking to, and she heard me talking to myself when I was putting this together, and she's like, number one, that sounds adorable, and then number two, I can tell that's actually how you talk to yourself. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm hitting the mic there. So I just figure it's a good thing. But then there was also one part, because a lot of therapy, a lot of work is just sort of self-talk. What are you saying to yourself at any given point in time? There was one part where I was making a lantern, and I had snapped one of the outside delicate showy bits, not like one of the inside little, like nobody's gonna see this. You know, if I broke this handle, I could still plug this in, plug that in, put some Gorilla Glue there, and then nobody would know. But it was one of the pretty outside bits, and you just gotta work on what you say to yourself when those things happen. We're now looking for... I guess before I continue, was I supposed to sand that down? Well, here's hoping, because if I was supposed to sand that down, it didn't tell me. Bravo. So I need A14. And then B4. Oop, there we go. That just popped out. And this is B5. Okay. So there's B5. Here. B5. And A6. Oh! Whoa! That was a piece. What were you? What the fuck even number were you? You're B2. Okay. See, and you notice, we have not gone back to Delta. We've used like 2/3 of Delta, and now we're just fucking around in the alphas. And there's just no... We're not going back. We're not going to go back until near the end. I'll bet you money. It's always funny how that happens. So here's A6. This is B5. B5 is flipped that way. A6 is this way. And this is all inside B4. Okay. Starting to put it together. And then A14 upside down goes... Okay, so this is supposed to... So we should start by just sliding that in. And then... See, I have the natural inclination to bring it up. I kind of act like a squirrel with that. I'm just sort of chittering as I chew on it or something. But we will keep our stream. Oh, see, we just popped it out, and now we're going to slide it back in. And I also have the number facing inward, so I don't get it. This. supposed to be the chosen one, Anakin. You were supposed to... And I think this is just normal, you know? Like, now I've got a whole bunch of shit to work on. And we're just gonna push you back in as much as we can. And we will sort of push that in. And there we go. That took a little bit more effort, but I mean, it works. There's nothing wrong about that. And then you are here. So we want to stick you there, there. And there we go. I've also got a friend that says I apparently need to do, not voice acting, but, let's slide you over there, persimmon. You're a good snack. I need to get voice lessons. And I trust their judgment. They're very, very apt to speak the truth, number one, and then number two, they have a great ear for voices. And so there's like, hey, Tiny, if you would, if you get some voice training, you might be good. Okay, see, so, like you look right here, it says polish the shaded area and backside with wax. So that is A16. And another A18, right where my thumb is. So. But yeah, I ended up snapping the outside of a model, and that was one of those, because I was doing it to relax, and so I just realized, there we go, I was doing it to relax, and I realized, oh, you know, I fucked up, and there was a little bit of panic. And when something you're doing for fun no longer becomes fun, like I see that's why like a lot of people quit YouTube or quit their projects or quit writing or whatever it is. Polish the shaded area and backside with wax. So this goes like this. Alright, well, you can see me polishing, so I guess I could polish left-handed the stranger, right? But I understand why people would stop doing things. Because if it's no fun, you know, it's kind of like, what are you doing? But I understand sort of like, okay, we started doing something fun and it was entertaining, and then it stopped being fun, but I had an obligation, and now all of a sudden even the obligation doesn't matter, and you look at that and you're like, oh, I don't want to fall into that trap. And when you're doing something for fun and it backfires and you have a bad time, you know, you gotta remind yourself sort of why you're doing it. Why are you doing the thing? Why does it make you have fun? What does it? Sort of goes back to the meaning of life stuff earlier. This is not an official tool, but we're gonna use it anyway. So I don't know if you can see that, but there are, as you can see down here, wax shavings, and I'm just trying to. There we go. And why are you doing the thing that you're doing? What do you get out of it? And if you don't have an answer for that, if you're just sort of doing it for the money, or you're doing it for the fame, or you're doing, the worst is you're doing it because everybody else is doing it. I know of someone who is struggling with that because they're like, well, I want to be a streamer, I want to be a singer, I want to be a whatever, and it's like, okay, you know, father, bless his heart, built the daughter an entire sound studio, you know, put it together, and that dream lasted like 6 months, if that. And she got disheartened, of course, because, you know, why wouldn't you? You're not putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into marketing. So it's just, you're just sort of out there screaming into the void, and it didn't work. And then so it's just like, well, you know, what do you do? Do you continue in darkness? There's a good book I read. It's a good book I read. Okay, so we just gonna stick this over here with persimmon. It's a good book I read years and years ago. Not even, oh, maybe a year ago now. Sorry, 2020 really fucked with my sense of time. Oh, we're gonna get the Ninja Star. Ninja Star. And it is, there we go. And I think it's called The Talent Code. And I forget who wrote it, but it's a very memorable name. It's The Talent Code. And the guy basically said, you know, he wanted to go out and figure out where do these people come from that it doesn't seem right. Hold on a minute. Okay, this seems more right than before. I guess those little widgets are supposed to be the ooh. Yeah, okay. And so he basically was like, where are all these? Okay, do I need to sand you down? Let's find out. It's basically asking, where do all these people come from that are suddenly, oh hey, see, look, you needed to sand it down, that are suddenly super popular? Like, how are overnight successes made? I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so his thing was, how are overnight successes made? And he found out that they're not. That on average, it takes 7 years, like 7 actual years of dedicated work to be noticed. Not to, you know, to be a master in your field, so to speak. And that's sort of one of the, what is this, 2B3s and 2B12s. Tiny little ones. Gotta to support this. And so, you know, I sort of look at that with my writing, with small. And I have a business coach, and he marvels at how large small is. He's like, you have an incredibly dedicated fan base, and you have incredibly dedicated fans. I mean, look at this. Which again, thank you, Dreamwalker and everybody else that is supporting me. But you know, he looks at that and he's like, oh my God, small is huge. Like Tiny, you've got something on your hands. And he subscribed to the $1 Patreon tier just to see what's going on, and I think he reads the series, and you know, he's over here like, you struck. See, look, that just looks a little off. He's like, yeah, it does. See, it's got some give in it. He's like, you struggle with fundamental questions of humanity in small, and you know, you do this and you do that, and see, look, here's another. I don't think you can even see that, can you? Camera. You can't. I guess you can right there. It's a little hazy. That's a crack. So we'll see how that goes. But he's like, you struck. I guess we're also sticking this with persimmon. Ooh, popular. Let's just do not disturb for 2 hours. Screw it. And anyway. So, to hear that coming from him, because I look at small, and I look at the server, and I look at, you know, everybody, and I view it as like extended friends, you know, like, oh my God, we got a couple hundred people that are on the server, and, you know, maybe a couple hundred people read it, and this and that and the other, and he's really sort of opened my eyes to like, hey, look, you actually have been, you know, you've got a great series. I think somebody on Reddit even was like, this is the most underrated series on HFY, and you know, I just kind of took that in stride, but that was a very huge compliment, so thank you to whoever that was. But you know, I just sort of sit here, and I'm just some dude, you know. And to hear a business coach that has accolades after his work saying this could be something huge, and to have everybody on the server who's like, oh my God, you're super good, and I love it, and this is great, and all that other stuff, it's incredibly uplifting, you know. But then I sort of think about it, and it's like, I started writing way back. Like, writing for other people, not for myself. Although, I guess you could say all art is somewhat selfish. Very rarely are you doing art for other people, and even if you are doing art for other people, I don't know, that's an entire different thing. But like, you look at some of my old writing, and it's the same sort of style, but let's see, look at this. It says polish these areas with wax. So it's wanting me to polish this and this with wax. Why didn't we just do that before? I don't know. Let's get the wax. But, you know, where it says, like, you need to suffer 7 years in relative obscurity before anyone even knows that you exist, and it's like, I don't think a lot of people realize, I used to, way back in the day, write for 4chan. And I know, it is a long ago And I don't, you know, I'm kind of like Joji with that. It's like, yeah, I used to write horse words, who cares? It's still out there for people that are, I guess, dedicated enough to find it, but I don't, you know. It's sort of like my Pink Man. I'm just like, well, that was something I did, and it was something I did to sort of excise the demons in my mind. You know, some I did for fun. And I mean, I was cranking out like 6,000 words a day. It was just fun. I'd go home and other people would be playing games and I'd just be sitting there writing and getting those reps in. And, you know. Look at Small now. Small is 3 years old, 2021, so 2020, 2019, 2018, I think so, started in 2018. Now I have been writing since probably 2014, so we are at 6 years, and we're just now, like, sort of starting to accelerate. And so I just think of, you know, that guy's daughter, like, you know, she might have to slog through 6 years. Everybody has to slog through 6 or 7 years. And if Small becomes big, you know, Small becomes this big thing, oh, yeah, that's how the action works, I think. And you see how why they wanted me to wax both sides, is now it freely moves. Small becomes big, you know. Ah, there's the trigger assembly. If I can fit it in. You know, and this little, I'm going to share it with you because you're listening, but this little psyop, you know, works, so to speak. It becomes huge, and it helps people, and it changes the culture. I mean, because that's kind of the goal is that I want it to change the cultural narrative, because I think we have a lot of anger, really, and you look at modern sci-fi, and it's always, you know, somebody told Hollywood we need to spook everybody with global warming, and there's very little sci-fi out there that isn't old IP that isn't really defeatist and really negative, you know. You look at, like, Children of Man, or you even look at Interstellar, which is great. And I'm not saying they're bad things, but you just look at them and it's always a dystopia or a near dystopia. It's never a utopia. And I just thought that was super weird. Like, we have the ability to make a utopia. You know, maybe not in my lifetime, but, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60 years after. There's no reason not to. That might be wishful thinking. I'm fully prepared to say that's wishful thinking, but I also sit there and think to myself and just make sure we're not... I don't know, this is the first time I've done streaming, and I'm using streaming software, and I don't know if it'll... Like, if my computer goes to sleep, am I going to lose, like, the last 45 minutes? Have you ever... Well, there was a, Real? So this goes right here? Okay. So that's what it looks like it says. Right here. And then the two smaller ones don't need to be waxed. But I need... If you remember, there's a story that like, if you're ever like, you know, Tiny, why are you Noble Bright? Why do you believe Noble Bright? You know, businesses want more control. Governments want more control. Corporations want more control. And they want to take away our rights and all this and all that other shit. And I do agree that that does exist. And that is something you need to actively be aware of. Eh? Oh no. Oh. Okay. Whew. That's interesting. So they want the first one waxed so it doesn't make a sound. That's okay to make a sound? Polish P3 to reduce noise of the spring. Okay, whatever. But it's called... Ooh! Alright, I've got to stop fucking with that. Oh no. Where did my spring go? Oh no! Well... Dang. Alright, let's find out. So it's not on the table. Well, so this is another, nobody panic, but it's not on me. Let's, no, I don't want to start my camera. Let's just take a look. Well, here's hoping they gave an extra. I don't see it. It'll come up. We'll find it. That's fine. Okay. And, so the story is called The Nuclear Boy Scout. I don't know if you have ever heard of that or what. That's the trigger assembly. See, now I'm putting my finger on it. But this Nuclear Boy Scout happened decades ago. B10 and B9. And, but it was a guy who ultimately, I think, has ended up, like, you know, it's like find what you love and let it kill you. You don't actually do that. That's a bad advice. Living is good. What is this? B10 goes into B9. So weird. Okay. Okay. Is there any difference between... No, there is not. Okay. But, and it's like I was saying earlier, just... I had a mistake, and that's okay, and as long as you're having fun doing it, it doesn't matter if a mistake happens. Because, like, I'm doing this for the love of doing it, not necessarily for streaming, though I'm doing it to stream as not only as a thank you, but just so you guys can sort of hear me meander. Because the podcast episodes I try to keep under 10 minutes. You know. So. Because I don't know if you're driving when you listen to it, or if you're just like, I got nothing better to do, let's just hear what Tiny has to say. But But he's called the Nuclear Boy Scout. And if you already hadn't looked him up, because it's been like 5 minutes since I last said his name. Long story short, this is a guy who, years ago, was fascinated with nuclear energy and nuclear everything, really. Oh, I see how that works now. See? That's going to be the... And, oh, we're going back to Charlie. Look at that. We'll go back to Charlie 1. That's Charlie 1. And, he learned somehow that, and this is still true to this day, so this might get me on a list, but also don't do this. But he learned that your average smoke detector has a radioactive element in it called americium, something along those lines. What the hell is this? It says A4. And it's this little question mark thing. And so he just, as like his Boy Scout, Eagle Scout project or something, straight up made a nuclear reactor. He just went around and gathered up all of the crap he could find, just buying dozens and dozens and dozens of smoke detectors. And it's interesting. So where does this go? Because I get this, right? You go here. Oh, you're up here. Oh, you're a site. Oh, please, ROKR, thank you. You're a site. Look at you. There we go. We're just gonna start, hilariously enough, up here. And get the place. You see, we're having a little bit of trouble with this, so we're just gonna. There we go. And he just built a nuclear reactor. Went around, and apparently you need hundreds of smoke detectors. And so, yeah, that works. And so, he just went around his local hardware stores and bought them out. And that's what raised the alarm. That's what made everyone sort of super suspicious, is they're just like, why the fuck does this 16-year-old need 1,000 smoke detectors? And put the part in the proper direction. So this, like so, goes right in here. So this is step 5. Nope. That was not step 5. That didn't work. Alright, so we're gonna... Okay. So you do need to be free floating. I shouldn't be trying to... Okay, I get you. So, he builds this nuclear reactor. And because he's a child, you know, he doesn't really know what he's doing. So he builds the reactor and ends up, he does end up giving himself radiation poisoning. Like he builds a reactor in his shed and he gets violently ill over it. Here's another D5. All right. He gets violently ill over it and ends up going to the hospital. Hospital treats him for radiation sickness. And mind you, they're like in the middle of Iowa, right? Like there's no nuclear anything around. And while the kid's in the hospital, the mom sort of discovers the nuclear reactor, sort of realizes what it is somehow, probably because there's notes and shit scattered about, and is like, oh shit. So she buries a ton of the nuclear waste just in the yard. EPA shows up, the feds show up, they raid the house, and you know, rightfully so. And I think I'm just gonna stick that here. And it becomes like the only, in American history, it becomes like the only Superfund site that was made in like private residential. Like, it wasn't a company that fucked this up. It's just some dude. That's weird. This is B2. Finally back to the part that just fell out. That's good. We need Charlie, Bravo, Alpha, Delta. So, you're rambling, Tiny. What the hell do you mean? Well, so the reason why I bring that out is very simple. Is that this was a kid in the 1980s who built basically a dirty bomb. He fucked up. And oh my god, if this has not gotten me demonetized just from these fucking words that I'm saying. So, he basically, you know, did all of that with household equipment. And this is before the internet, and this is before all this crazy shit happens, and this is before, you know, all the spooky-ooky AI is gonna kill us, yada yada horse shit that everybody talks about. And that story stuck with me because it's like, okay, this is a kid that did that with just library research. You know, he sat there at his local library and just read about it and read about it and read about it and said, wait, what if I could do that? And then he just did it. And that's sort of, that Boy Scout is sort of one of the reasons not only small exists the way it does, but why the small galactic governments sort of govern as they do, why they are lawful good, as opposed to like neutral or evil. You know, the super evil mega corporation does A, B, and C. And the reason, and this is also one of the reasons why I have hope for the future, which is funny. A kid 30 years ago or 40 years ago building a nuclear reactor in his backyard and poisoning the earth so it becomes a Superfund site is one of the reasons why I'm positive for the future. So, take that for what you will. But he was doing that with altruistic reasons in mind, right? He just wanted to do it. He just had a passion and he ran out there and made it happen. But imagine, 40 years from now, we've discovered fission energy or fusion energy or whatever it is, cold fusion. We have room temperature semiconductors. We have all of these super neat things. What is our next nuclear Boy Scout going to be, If a government is to last, you have to govern good. You don't want to sit there and keep radicalizing your own population. You don't want to sit there and radicalize other populations, because at some point you're going to have a nuclear Boy Scout on your hands, except instead of being innocent and just playing around, he's going to be trying to overthrow your, I'm gonna not only get demonetized, I'm gonna get picked up. I can just feel it. But So let me just go ahead and say, for any federal agent listening, I do not advocate action. I'm fucking building a model. Oh god, it's a model of a gun. I'm building a model, and I'm just trying to just explain my writing. That's all. That's all this is. I swear to God, that's all this is. Fuck. So, you can't have an oppressive government in the future unless everyone is on board. You know, everyone needs to be on board with that. You know, let's destroy the universe. Okay. See, so this is a little bent. There we go. You need to be on board with the destruction of the human race. You need to be on board with whatever the hell is going down, because if you don't, you're going to have more and more dangerous civilians. And you look at like the IRA, and you look at, you know, even right now, the Taliban and all that other stuff, and you have the greatest militaries in the world unable to hold land, unable to stop them. And these are people with, you know, great-grandpa's AK that fucking, you know, they never cleaned, and they whip it out and, you know, fire on coalition troops, and then, you know, when the coalition troops finally fucking make it over, you know, up the hill, guy's just chucked his AK down a ravine. He'll pick it up in 6 years, and it will work. You know, it's like, what do you... We're looking for A14. There we go. What do you do against that? And this is just throwing spicy rocks at each other. Like, this isn't even the goofy shit. You know, like, I look at comically evil empires. Like, look at the actual empire from Star Wars, right? You know, comically evil, has a Death Star and all this other crap, and it's like, and ignoring the fact that they've fucked up their lore incredibly, because they have, and that's just the name of their game. If only they had a master reference document, right, guys? But this actually should be upside down. See, I'm trying to figure out where the text is going to show. I'm gonna put it up. But this is a little. There we go. There we go. So now we're there. You look at Star Wars, and come on, you can fit. There we go. And they've already proven that you could just hit something in hyperspace. You could just take your ships and fire back in hyperspace and wipe out an entire fleet of whatever, and it's like, speeds approaching even near the speed of light are spooky as hell in terms of their kinetic velocity. And you look at things like kinetic kill vehicles and all that other stuff, and it's like, so, you know, moving ahead 400 years into the future or whatever, and we've colonized Mars, and we've colonized the outer belts and all that. Are you facing... It's like, I can't tell if that's facing up or down. I think you would be facing... Oh, it's facing up. Okay. You know, you look at these things. I guess this needs to be internal. There we go. You look at these things, and it's like super evil mega empire, you know, whatever, you know. Okay, fine. And I'm the rebel captain, right? You know, I'm part of the rebel alliance and all that other good stuff, and I'm just scum and villainy and blah blah blah. Fucking load up a shuttle with bricks. Fill it head to toe with concrete. Program the AI just to hit light speed and point it at where you know the enemy station is going to be. Point it at the planet where the evil empire is located. Point it at, you know, in the general direction of the system. And then, hell, like, if you're going faster than light, C4, C12, I need A5. See, look, we're still not done with the C's. And we haven't even touched D. Or no, Echo. So it's just like, they always do that. Not that I mind, but I just find it funny. I need Alpha 5. You know, if you're aiming at a planet, you know where the planet is going to be. It has an orbit. It's not like it's mysteriously going to vanish. It's a planet. It's right there. So just point your shuttle at it, go faster than light, and by the time that you hit that planet, going faster than light, you will create a supernova with the amount of kinetic energy that you've hit. You know, like there's no... You can't be evil. If you want to be planet-based, if you're not planet-based, let's say you float around, you're in a star system, and you could be anywhere. Well, so flechette rounds are a thing, and if you're going faster than light, and we still have that space shuttle, right, that's just piloted by AI, just hanging out downtown by itself, right, and it's just whatever. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure we are good there. Cool. And then this should go here. Wait. Okay. Sorry, I just... My desire to hide the number made me flip it around the wrong way. But you still have that same ship, still filled with concrete, except this time stick a bomb on that ship, and just before you hit the solar system, you blow it up, and now you have hyper-velocity flechette rounds going into the entire system at faster-than-light speeds. Even, you know, ittiest-bittiest, tiniest little dust particle, if it's going faster than light, will wipe out a planet. So good luck, you know? And that's the kind of stuff that I never understood, where it's like, here is our comically evil empire. You know, if we didn't want to have, like, a space opera where actual magic exists, you know. But if we're going to have a space opera and we're going to have the future and it's going to be spooky and all this other shit, like you look at Black Mirror and whatnot, what have you, and it's like, y'all don't understand how limiting technology is and how freeing technology is. Because it's almost impossible. Once it's out there, it's just out there. What are you? You're E5. Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna have some fun with this one. I'm gonna start with you. And you know, you look at that, and it's like, okay, so if any bumpkin, oh, see, it's a bendy spring. If any bumpkin can sit there and wipe out every single military installation I have and every single everything that I own, like they can literally just sit there and destroy me on a shoestring budget, right? On a budget that is an accounting error for me. What do I do? If I am a government and I want to survive, what do I do? And the answer has to be that you govern justly, and you govern, you know, again, sort of noble bright, but also, you know, you do your best. And if people see, oh, you know, they are doing their best, you're rate of crazy people is going to go down. It's never going to go away, but it's going to go down. And then the second thing you do is you basically make it so that, what do we got? Is that correct? That does look correct, I think. Yeah, that's correct. You basically make it so that people have too much to lose. Which is another reason why, like, everybody's like, oh, you know, the big igloo is going to happen, or the day of the rake is going to happen. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. You, as an American citizen, or you as a Canadian citizen, or hell, even you as a British citizen, or as an Irish citizen, if you live in the first world, you have it so good, you don't want to disrupt the status quo. Because what the disruption of the status quo means is subsistence living. You know, it means going out and hunting a deer and killing it and skinning it, and maybe that's the first meal you've had all week. You know, it's hard fucking living, and you know, you go to these places where we're currently waging war, or you go to Russia. I mean, I'm just going to be brutally honest, but you go to these places where we're currently waging war, and they don't have shit to lose. Look at Syria. Syria's been bombed flat. Well, I you know, there's no schools in a 400-mile radius of me. There's no hospitals in a 300-mile radius of me. I'm literally just surviving off. It's like Tarkov, you know. I'm literally just surviving off of shit I can find. What do I have to lose? And the answer is nothing. You have nothing to lose. So this needs to be like so. And so they can go out there and they can fight tanks and they can throw Molotovs at airplanes and they can do all sorts of crazy shit because, you know, if I live or die, you know, it might as well be by the sword. And if it's not by the sword, it might just be because I starve to death, or I get tetanus, or I get, you know, rabies or whatever the hell. You know, like, what was that? Did I just step on the spring that I lost? I'll bet you I just stepped on the spring that I just lost. Alright. But thankfully, I think they gave us a second one, and if they didn't, then I just irrevocably crushed the first one, so it's fine. Is what you want? Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh no, I don't want to lift you up. I want to keep you down. So, putting it all together, because I know I've sort of been rambling. I think I've been rambling for like 30 minutes. You know, putting it all together, you have to, because at the end of the day, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, is that governments are amoral. They don't. The reason why the United States is a democracy, well, a republic, but we're trying to make it into a democracy. A democracy, why the United States is capitalistic, why all of that is the way it is. We need 8 of these. 2, 4, oh, we're doing all of them. Okay. The reason why is because it produces the best possible outcome for its citizens. Not necessarily because it's the right thing to do, or it's the good thing to do, or any of that other stuff, but because the government will be in a stronger position to be eternal, which is what governments want. They want, you know, Rome to last 5,000 years. You want the Millennium Reich. You want the EU, which are bonds that will never be broken. You want the United States, which is, you know, I think the United States is as close as we're going to be getting to a perpetual government, just based on the resources and how it treats its civilian populace, barring everything that's happening right now. We knock that out. We actually live up to our ideals, and I think we actually will have a perpetual government. But that's the goal. The goal isn't necessarily to do what's right or what's good. The goal is to stay in power forever, and you can't do that if you're evil. You know. If you look at China and the social credit system there, and everybody gets spooked and everybody's concerned and all that other stuff, and it's like, well, you know, it's not working. The social credit system not only is not working, but, you know, if we really... Oh, whoa, hey now, you're an all-star. Not only is the social credit system not working, but, you know, what the heck are we doing here? Okay. This is supposed to slide in like so, right? There we go. That's one. Alright, based upon just that one, everything else should now slide in pretty... Yeah, there we go. Alright. China's trying to go the opposite way. China is trying to do the evil thing. It's, let me see what you're doing, let me see what you're thinking, let me pull you away for thought speak, let me police my own citizens, let's do all that shit, let's be... And it's defensive. They're not trying to do that to take over the world, they're trying to do that in order to make sure that the Chinese government as it stands remains perpetual. And that's just the goal. So, tying it all together. Do you really think it's going to work? No, I don't, because the more you do that, the more you radicalize your people. It's rumored, and I have all the faith in the world to believe this, but it's rumored that, you know, the Chinese government's internal police force is larger than its external military. And its external military is like 1 million people strong, or something crazy like that. And so you just sort of have to think about that, like, what in the world? What in the world? And, you know, we don't have that here in America, but China's doing it because the more that they do this, the more they radicalize their people. So the more police force they need to have, the more security they need to have. And it's a vicious cycle. Nothing virtuous about it. See, I'm gonna stick these in like this, because I think... Hold on a minute. Facing it like so. There we go. It's a vicious cycle. There's nothing virtuous about it. It is 100% trying to get in front of the next war, get in front of the next collapse, get in front of all that stuff. You radicalize me in this time, it's going to be difficult for me to do anything, right? There's not much I can do. You radicalize me when everybody has access to interstellar flight. Well, firstly, good luck. You might just end up with a pilgrim's problem, where just everybody that you're persecuting just leaves. And what are you going to do? You know, you're persecuting them because they're there. If they leave, then there's no reason to persecute them. So the problem basically solves itself. So you're not going to have that in a universe as large as what we're actually living in. If I don't have faster than light travel, right, then it's going to take you months, if not years, to move a force to get me, right? If I'm a rebel on Titan, it's going to take you like 5 or 6 years to get to me, and I'll know you're coming, which means I will have 5 or 6 years to prepare. What do you do? You know, like, okay, this is C10. How the hell is C10? I am sorry, this makes no fucking sense. Oh, there's 8 of them. I thought this was a single piece. See, and then, okay, that makes sense. Okay. And there we go, and then this goes over here, and all right, hey, way, here we are. There we go. You know, you can't realistically do the strong arm of the law there. Okay. You know, if you decide, all right, we're going to chase after these people and hunt them down, and they don't live here anymore, and they're not bothering us anymore, and they're not even near us anymore, but screw it, let's go get them. You know, then you run into the problem of like, okay, so you just need to radicalize one, and then you got somebody with a hypervelocity shuttle slamming it into your home planet and wiping, you know, out hundreds of billions of people and your entire infrastructure and all that other stuff. So if you are a future government, you have to be noble, bright, Not because it's a good thing, for the people, fuck the people, but because it allows you to live. You can't be radicalizing your population, so you have to govern, and you have to govern justly. Because if you don't, nuclear Boy Scout. And I never understood that. I always look at modern sci-fi, and it's always so fucking grimdark. It's always so bad, and it's like, oh well, we'll just bomb you from orbit, and we'll just do this, and we'll just be cartoonishly evil, and it's like, okay, you just need one. You just need one. And if that one person escapes, or that one person, oh look at that, that's nice. That one person escapes, or that one person figures out how to use your technology, or that one person commandeers a ship, say goodbye to your home planet. It's mutually assured destruction, but on an intergalactic scale. And that actually, hilariously enough, allows for peace. The reason why you have a lot of people sort of running around with doomsday weapons, but they're never used, is just that. Like, okay, if you are pulling this out, you're explicitly stating that whatever the hell it is you are fighting is a complete existential threat. Oh, let's slide you back in there, buddy. Like, it is a threat large enough for you to gamble every planet you have. It's a large enough threat to gamble everything you own. That's ridiculous, it is a, you need boots on the ground to hold land, you need mobile oppression, a mobile oppression unit, in order to do that, and then, God help you, because now you're trying to hold territory and then also not get got. How do you do that? Okay. The answer is you just be good. Be good. People pay their taxes. Like, you look at Americans, more Americans pay their taxes than not. More Americans are good than not. The pandemic has everybody acting a little bit crazy, and, fine, that is what it is, but you look at the government, and it is amoral. It just does what needs to happen. Whatever. I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm not here to do any of that, because that's always a fucking terrible thing to talk about. But, I have hope for the future. It's one of the many reasons why I have hope for the future. Why I write small the way I do. Why the enemies and the big bads that you fight, or that you see everybody fight in small, act the way they do and do what they do, is because you need to strike a delicate balance. You do not want to bring the Eye of Sauron down upon you if you're doing illegal shit, because they can escalate to that ultimate end. And if you're a smaller, you're just a criminal organization, well, you're going to run out of people real quick. If you're a government, a belligerent government, you need to be okay with losing everything, not just, we're gonna fight and get rid of these people because they're so-and-sos, but like, you're gonna lose absolutely everything. You're gonna lose your home, you're gonna lose everything. Is that what you really want? You couldn't see me shrug, but I'm shrugging. It's like, I don't see. I think that's beautiful. Look at that. Thank you again, Dreamwalker. This is nice. I don't foresee that happening. Governments want to be perpetual. You don't want to fuck that up. So whatever moves forward has to be noble bright, because eventually it will only take one. It will only take a citizen to overthrow everything, to destroy everything. It will eventually just be one person. And at that point, that's going to be the real spooky part. Fix that right there. We'll will be the real spooky part, because was it A3? Because you won't have perfect governments. Everybody's always going to be angry about something, right? But it will be one of those things where, okay, you might be angry about something, but, you know, is the government performing at such a rate that overall you're okay with it, you know? I might have a bad day, and I might do this, and I might do that, but, you know, do I really want to slam my space shuttle into the moon at Mach 50,000, right? Do I really want to do that? Do I just, you know, do I just want a sandwich, right? You know, like, it's going to be one of those things where you're going to look at it, and you're going to be like, you know, man, fuck it, this is terrible, I'm angry at everything, I just want to leave, and the future government would have to be like, okay, go. There's all of space, go and do whatever the hell you want. Go be space Mormons, right? Go be space Puritans, who cares? And because that option will always be available, because space is basically infinite, there's no need to be evil. There's no need. It's actually an antithesis to your government surviving. So, you will always have evil people. I don't pretend otherwise. I'm not saying that there won't. I'm not saying that there isn't evil in the world and that it needs to be destroyed. You know, that's not the point of what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that you sort of need to put it in its context. Something tells me I fucked up. Because why would we have springs down here and the sliders here? I don't know. We'll find out, though. I might just be making gun noises. Oh, finally at A9. There we go. We're looking at 4 A9. So we're looking at all A9s and all A10s. Okay, so A9s are top and A10s are at the bottom. I don't know why I got on that rant. I really don't. I guess we were talking about sci-fi, and then here we are. So that's about it. I don't know. 1, 2. Trying to keep it on camera. This is 3. Come on, 3. There we go. 4. Oh, we're finally moving to Echo Board again. Hello, Echo Board. We're looking for E4s. So it's 4 total E4s. Alright. So see how tiny those are? That's... very, very delicate. So that's sort of, I don't know. I'm a very opinionated guy when it comes to writing, when it comes to stories, and I just see shit that doesn't make any sense, and it bothers me. It bothers me so much. So okay, so these are identical on either side, so it doesn't matter. Because the writer wants to make a point, but the point that they're making doesn't make any sense, It's like, really? We're gonna go this grim dark? We're gonna do this, and it's not tongue-in-cheek? You actually believe the future's gonna be this bad. I don't. It's actually one reason why I'm also not... I am concerned about global warming, but, I don't know. I got plans. If small ever does become a multi-billion-dollar thing, I need about a solid $1 billion to place my 7. Stupid. I call it my 7 secret sacred bets to save the world, just because I like alliteration. But I have been idly talking to people that have excellent ideas and all this other stuff. And oh, see, now this is going to be, I'm making a bad choice right now. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna push that one down, push that one down. See, look at that. See, it's okay to adjust, you know? Like, that was going to be a bad idea. And now we've got 2, and we're pushing that in. Now you're level. And now you're level. And now the other 2 that are right here are not going to break the, yeah, see, look at that. Whoop. Push that a little bit. We're gonna stick you like that. Then you're number 4, and then you're good. See? Look at that. No fuss, no muss, and you're good. But it would take about $200 million to reverse global warming back to pre-industrial age levels. Problem is that there's no money in it. And there's no political will. Hilariously enough, there really is no political will to do it. But it's neither here nor there. Again, we're not... I feel like I'm in one of those memes where it's like, I promise I won't get political, like a drink and a half later, and then it's just this big fucking meme post. But I figure, you know, there's ways to do de-desertification of certain areas. You know, there's ways to de-acidify the ocean. And I know that sounds crazy, but, you know, there are. And it's like, okay, if I can do that, if I can start pulling out some of the acids or some of the pharmaceutical chemicals or any of that other stuff, if I'm able to do that, if we're able to get those filters and pumps and all that stuff working, couldn't we sell it, right? You know, like, wait a minute. I almost lost that one. That would have been in spring, and then that little wooden thing. Yeah, that would have just been, that would have been rough. What we're going to do, we're just going to slide you through, too. There we go. How about that? And, you know, there's no will, I think, to do that. Because reclaiming ocean chemicals is incredibly expensive, whereas producing new chemicals is incredibly cheap. So what's the trade-off? Would you really buy a gallon of bleach if it was ocean reclaimed chemicals, but it was $15 a gallon? No, you wouldn't. The market wouldn't bear it. You know, it's doable. You just need somebody that doesn't really give a fuck. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I would do it. You know, if you can market it to be très chic, you know, only ocean reclaimed chemicals have been used in the making of this film, so to speak. Well, it becomes a luxury, it becomes a status icon. When you get status icons, then you're really making a shit ton of money. And it's like, nobody's really thinking of bleach or ammonia or whatever as a status icon. You know, what is your status brand? It's like, oh yeah, it's A19. It's not A19, but it's, you know, it's... Oh yeah, I use Tiny Prancing Heavy Industries, the evil mega corporations, you know, dolphin caustic baking soda. It's like, huh, tested on real dolphins, you know, like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, you know, who wants that? Who wants to pay that? Make it a status symbol, you make it a, you know, big, huge fucking deal. Suddenly people are lining out the door. Humans are weird. C11? There's C11. Oop. Clicking my mouse. Let me not do that. I don't know. Buy up cheap government land across the planet. Do de-desertification. It'll take 40 years. But then that land that you bought for a song and a dance, suddenly a garden spot, suddenly has natural water coming out of it, the springs are back, and it's like, oh, we can sell it for a profit, sell it to farmers, do something with it. Sorry, I'm just trying to... There we go. I think that's good. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. There we go. What the fuck is this? Oh, this is C11. Okay. And then that's that, and I still need my Echo. My Echo 3. Oh boy. Alright, go up here. Help me. Karnakian's doing nothing back there. Fucking slacker. At least Persimmon is helping. I don't know. You look at some of that stuff and it's like... It's not even... It's nobody's fault, and I think that's the real bitch of it. Shareholders wanting returns on their investment because returns are necessary in order to have any form of, well, economy, if I'm being brutally honest. Demand, what do we got here? So, demand returns. Because they demand returns, they get on the board of directors and they say, hey, it doesn't seem right. This is the bottom. This is the bottom of the gun. The GNU. And it's saying this goes on like so. And this goes on like so. That goes here. That goes here. I'm trying to keep it so that you guys can see it, but I'm also trying to figure out like what the hell is going on. Really? That doesn't seem right at all. Alright. Are we... Ah, that seems a little more right. Okay. Seems a little more correct. Better this way? Sorry, I'll fix it. There we go. So investors, because they want a return, go up to the C-suite, especially if it's a publicly traded company, and they say, hey, we want to see real returns. And it really was until IBM got a CEO that, was it Jack Welch? What was his name? Forget. But until he came around, companies, you know, long, boring, oh, I get it now. Long, boring, stable, all that fun stuff. And he comes in and he basically says, screw it. The only reason why a company exists is for shareholder profit. There is no other reason for a company to exist. Stakeholders don't matter, the environment doesn't matter, the employees sure as hell don't matter, none of that matters. And, what am I doing? I'm bending this? How far am I bending this? I have to be using both of them. You can't be serious in telling me that just the one. Alright, you know what we're gonna do? I'm just gonna turn it over. There we go. And he basically just did corporate rating, and it was a brand new thing because, you know, the status quo is the greatest thing in the world until something beats the status quo, and then that's the greatest thing in the world. And let's see, this is gonna be a problema. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we are actually going to do. We're just going to slide it out, and then holy shit! How the fuck did you expect me to do this attached to something? What the hell's wrong with you? Holy fuck. That actually was the hardest piece to put together. Okay. And so, I think it was Jack Welch, made... Ooh, did you hear that crack? That was a bad crack. That was a crack of something breaking. So we're going to sort of back up, and we're going to try this again. This time we're going to do it on the bottom, because sometimes if you look at a problem from a different angle, it works. Here's one. There we go. See. Alright. Okay. I guess that other E1 is a backup in case this one breaks. Appreciate that. I just broke it. That's the only E1. That is literally the only E1 that we use. Huh. But it snapped. Right there. So... just And see, and that's okay though. Like, it is okay to make that mistake, even on live camera, because there's always a way around it. So that's not even bad. So what we're gonna do, hold on to this, buddy. Thank you. So then here is attempt number 2. We're just gonna stress this until so Jack Welch comes in, and he just becomes corporate cutthroat. He cuts pensions, he cuts jobs, he cuts entire divisions, and profits skyrocket and costs drop. And again, because your publicly traded CEO is compensated by stock and stock options. There we go. I think that's what needed to happen, was because they're compensated by stock and stock options, there's no reason for them to worry about what's happening in the future, because they're doing everything for the moment. Oh boy. So that's my automatic lights. Let's fix that real quick. But yeah, so firstly we're gonna raise the lights. I'm gonna make them bright again. There we go. All right. He walks in, and his base salary's, 60 grand, and he's got hundreds of thousands of stock options that he can execute if company stock reaches a certain level. And so of course everybody's expecting innovation to go there, and he blows past those numbers because he's cutting people, and he's doing everything a good corporate raider should do. What's that? See, now this is where we fucked up the last time, so I'm a little nervous, but we're gonna just very, very gently work our way into that, and I think we actually got it this time. We did it. We did it. So what I'm checking to see if, like, you see how that's flush at the top and the bottom is not, so I'm just trying to rock it back and forth. It's not the size of the wave, it's the motion of the ocean. So we're just going to get that ocean riptide going. There we are. There we go. Okay. That's good. Blows past his numbers. And does it again and again and again and again and again. And there's an entire school of thought, because other executives looked at that and they were basically like, holy shit, I could be making hundreds of millions of dollars as opposed to hundreds of thousands of dollars. People are selfishly motivated, which is not necessarily a bad thing. You just need to make sure that their selfish motivations don't destroy other people. But people are selfishly motivated. D8 here. And I need what? How many? Oh, it's 2 per, so I'm going to be doing 4. People are selfishly motivated, and so, long story short, other people started to copy him. Welch leaves. He leaves IBM skyrocketing, right? But the issue is that you have pushed yourself up because you've cut everything. And you can ride that momentum because business cycles take years and years to resolve. And so hilariously enough, you know, IBM starts to suffer. And then this is where you start seeing the addition or the creation of what are called turnaround CEOs, which I think is actually hilarious, because you will have a CEO and a management team walk into a business, scalp it for parts, fuck everyone over. When the going gets tough, they leave. The remaining shareholders, who are now losing value, right? They hire a turnaround artist, a turnaround CEO, somebody that can come in here and fix it. Turnaround CEO comes in, fixes the problem, so to speak, right? Usually involving more firing, more outsourcing, more all that terrible stuff. And makes the company shine again, makes it profitable again, fixes it again. Shareholders, major shareholders, mind you, the hedge funds and the mutual funds and all that, will turn around and say, oh, thank God, you saved this company. You did the thing. You saved us. Now get out. And they'll fire the turnaround CEO, because now the company's in a stage of growth and doesn't need a turnaround CEO. They need a growth CEO. And the growth CEO comes in and immediately starts butchering what the turnaround CEO did for parts. And because they're butchering it, because the things that the turnaround CEO did were costs, because he's butchering costs, the cycle repeats itself. And you can actually look at this throughout company history. Like, look at Yahoo. They hired Marissa Mayer. She was a turnaround artist. She didn't turn it around. Yahoo is sold for parts to Verizon. But that was what happened. Verizon was ripped apart for parts over a couple decades. And then they had to hire a turnaround artist to try and make it compete with the Googles. And lo and behold, that didn't really work too well. And that was it. You know. It's fascinating. You know what else is fascinating is Earthlink is still around. MySpace is still around. And all these companies that, by rights, you would think would be dead, still around. Wait a minute. What the hell did I just pull? E2. Oh, okay. B6. Alright, I got super confused there. Come on. There we go. E2, B6. E2, B6. So, it's just funny because I'm 33 now. I've been looking at companies and corporations forever. Like, other people were reading Harry Potter and I was reading Ink and Grow Rich, just trying to figure out what the hell's going on in this world. And there we go. Oop. Sorry, I need to remember that camera's down here. Eyes are up there. Oh, see, look. So we had actually, I don't know if you could see that, a little bit of damage. That's okay. So what we can do is we can flip that around, and that could be up here, and we can take the non-damaged side. That would be facing anybody that we are shooting, which we're not supposed to. They say do not do exactly that. Do not do exactly what we are definitely going to do. There we go. Can I? Bravo. Bravo 6. Bravo 6 doesn't matter. Bravo 6 going dark. Alright. Oop. Lift that one. And so, you know, it's not necessarily, I guess I should say, not necessarily capitalism that's the issue. It's not necessarily democracy that's the issue. It's just if you look at it, a company can crowdsource the CEO's salary by just giving him stock options. It reduces the cost to have an executive team, you know, some highly trained, highly paid individuals, because at the end of the day, if Tesla's stock, for instance, goes from $400 to $1,000, and Elon Musk is paid, you know, 1 million shares, and his cost basis for those shares is $200, well, who mints the shares in the first place? The company. So the company will say, we're going to just mint an extra 1 million shares as executive compensation. Everybody goes, yeah, sure, that sounds great. These numbers are ridiculous anyway. So if he can hit them, Godspeed. He hits them by being absolutely fucking mercenary about it, which, okay. And then the company goes, okay, baller, here's your 1 million shares for $200. He buys them. He can buy them on credit. It doesn't even matter. He buys them, turns around, sells a fraction of them for $1,500 each, $1,000 each, whatever it is. Yeah, and it's at that point, what is the cost to the company? The company didn't have to come up with $200 million to mint those shares. Those shares were just literally not there one day, and then the next day they just appeared as treasury stock. And the company just said, we have invented 200,000, well, I don't know what it was, 1 million shares? We've invented 1 million shares, and we're pricing these at $200 for this one guy if he does these one things. Company makes $200 million, CEO makes billions of dollars. And it's all crowdsourced, because then you or me or somebody else goes out into the market and buys a Tesla share at $1,000, and then that share was Elon's, and so that $1,000 share paid for 5 normal shares, so he sold one, he's still walking away with 4 shares. At a net zero cost basis to him or to the company. It's fascinating. It's fascinating how the world works. And I think, again, it's kind of why I like models. And we're going back to it. It's because you got stuff to do, and then it's a very obvious step by step, and if you do the steps right, even if you make mistakes along the way, if you're doing the right things, you win. You have something. You have the thing that you were trying to do. And I think of that one guy's daughter, you know, and it's like, maybe she's a great singer, maybe she's a great podcaster, maybe, you know, maybe she would have been the voice of her generation, but she tried something for 6 months and then stopped. You know, if I tried, this is a 2-hour stream, if I tried this for 10 minutes and then stopped, where would I be? I'd be on step 1, maybe step 2. Is this done? This is done. I just realized that we are actually done. Okay. So this is done. So we are going to throw that. Give me that. Still some things to do. But you see, look, extra pieces, extra pieces. ROKR is good about that. I mean, hell, I lost a spring and didn't matter in the end. We had another spring ready to go. Again, thank you, Dreamwalker, for this. But I don't know. I think about that kind of shit a lot. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. But I think about it, and I'm just like, why are you giving up? You don't even know. You don't even know if what you were... come on now. What you were doing was going to be good or not. You haven't run it. You haven't let time work its magic to figure out if you have a good idea. You know? And if you do, you know, it might be instantly validated. It might take days, weeks, months, years to validate it, but you don't know until you've built something and let time work on it, really. Now, look at small. And it's like, well, it's been 3 years and we're starting to really grow, and that's good. You know, but it's been 7 years of me writing. I don't know. I kind of wonder, like, how many other people feel stuck like I do sometimes, or feel more stuck and they have less going on than I do. And I actually threw away the bag with the sanding, so not gonna be sanded. And it's like they've got $1 million idea, you know? Like you got $1 million idea, but the first 2 years are gonna be some real bullshit to get through, and so you're not gonna do it. And that hurts me, you know? Like I think about that. I just see I'm putting the number at the bottom. And this is... it's a dude. It's a dude doing stuff. There we go. Oh, yeah. I think... so? Well, you said flat now? Flat-ish. I mean, it says if I keep it flat, but if I push it all the way down, right, there's that little bump, and then he really running at that point. I think we're gonna keep him flat. There we go. You know, one of the things when I'm every so often I'm approached by somebody and they want to talk to me about, hey, Tiny, I got an idea for a business, or I got an idea for this, or you know, what do you think? This is a sure thing, and nothing is ever truly a sure thing. Let me just go ahead and throw that out there. But you know, they're hyper excited about something they're doing, and my question is, you know, are you willing to sit there for 2 or 3 years and nobody knows you exist? Are you willing to just hang out? A lot of them are not. A lot of them are, you know, I've been doing this thing for 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and it's not worth it anymore. I'm gonna give up. And it's like, you are arguably, yeah, that's good trigger discipline. You're just pointing right at each other. Let's do that. There we go. You know, you are arguably sitting on $1 million idea. but you can't execute. And that's the thing. I think that was where I was going with that. Execution is 9/10 of the law. It doesn't. Hey, I don't even need that. I could just. God, the bitter internet. If you're not willing to sit and execute, or if you can't. Are you done? Did you just die on me? Oh, womp womp. Air can just died. Alright, well, you go over there too. If you're not willing to, or if you can't execute, doesn't matter if you have $1 million idea. And I guess that's where I was going with that, was that, you know, every so often I'll get some people that are like, hey, Tiny, I've got this idea. And I'm like, oh, okay, what do you got? Well, we wanna do this. Oh, that sounds like an idea, my friend. They're like, yeah, so I want to do that. Oh, okay. Well, have you thought about how that is going to work? No, I just sort of figured you'd help me out with that. Well, what's your plan? What happens if this doesn't work? What happens if it's too successful? You know, how do you scale? What's your execution like? We don't know. Okay, well, how are you going to eat? How do you eat for the first, you know, day, week, month, year? I don't know. Okay, well, you know. You get where I'm going with this? It's one of those things where I'm not against the idea, or I'm not against the person, or I'm not against any of that, but you know, we have to sit here and ask. What are we? How do we do it? My favorite is when I will have somebody who's like, you know, I have this great idea and I want your advice. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And they're like, yeah, but I want you to sign an NDA. I'm not signing an NDA. I don't even know what I'm signing an NDA on. You know, I can't sit there and sign an NDA and be legally obligated to not talk about something if you're not even going to tell me what it is that I can't talk about. That's how you get shot. That's how this guy's gonna get shot. Let's see if we can do it. See if we can do it. Alright. So, my phone in the background, probably not the smartest idea. We're gonna aim down sights, and there's one. And then there's two. Hey! Eat shit, doggo. That's what you get. That's what you get. That's what you fucking. Oh, I was much more concerned about that than I should have been. I thought that was going to be a lot more but that's comfy. Let's do that again. I think a couple shots took down 2 or 3 at once. It's good. Let's sit you up here and let you be sassy. There you go. Sassy because you have all these human bodyguards, this paramilitary corporation called Outer Heaven is guarding you. And you think you're the biggest shit. So, execution, man. It's why I talk to an executive coach. It's why I'm trying to get as much help. You know, it's why I do therapy. It's why I do a lot of this stuff. Is it's like, doesn't matter how good you are at the fundamentals, so to speak. If you're, I guess I'll just reload while I'm on camera. Let's do the side reload too. Oh, there we go. All right. Now, it says 2 per, and then you just pull back. If you can't execute on it, if you haven't planned on how to execute, it doesn't matter if it's a sure thing. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to do it. There we go. seeing this, so what I'm realizing is that the tension... It has been so long since I've had a rubber band gun of any sort. It's just like, oh my god. Now I see why they gave you like 400 different rubber bands. And oddly enough, I don't think this is attached to anything. I think this is just a feel-good springy. Which is fine. I don't remember if I already clicked it, so this might be a double load, which is fine. You can always overload any shotgun. That's just, it's fine. You just need to take the perk in the skill tree, bro. That's all you need to do. Actually, let's just keep going. Let's just see. Ooh. We are getting spicy now. That's good. Alright, we'll walk away. We'll make this happen. At 10 paces. 10 paces, looking down the sights. Hasta la bye-bye. Oh. It's not working. Do I... Oh! No, the pump mechanism actually does do something. Oh. Okay. Missed that shot. Missed that shot. Oh. There we go. No, your days are over. What you get? What you get for tax fraud. So anyway. Thank you again, Dreamwalker. This is fun. I'm gonna have a lot of fun shitposting with this. Got my little extra shells right there. This is gonna be fun. You're dead now. Come on. Alright. So, anyway. Thank you again. It's always fun to play with this kind of stuff. It's always fun to sort of hang out with you. Because this is our first time that I've ever built a model on stream, so, you know, it is what it is. But, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed putting this together. And there we go. Holy shit, this is fun. This is good. Alright. Well, I'm going to leave a loaded weapon in my house, and see you guys later. Take it easy.